Hi, I'm Jester, and this video is going to be about how to fight an aggressive player like Smokey G. So I think Smokey G is the most aggressive player in Broken Edge, so this is a good game to look at. Me and Smokey go back and forth on who wins. Most of the time it's depending on host, but not all the time. But anyway, this video is not to show how I can beat Smokey. This is just to show how to play against his playstyle, because there are several players that do it, and a lot of players have trouble with that playstyle. There are a couple things to keep in mind about fighting players that use play space and are aggressive. The first being, how much play space do you have? Now, the devs have stated in the past that they want players to move in real life when they're playing the game. They've given the players about probably 11.5 to 8 by 8 foot boundary, somewhere around there. Probably not exactly, but it's close. I will admit, if you don't have as much play space as another player, you are at a disadvantage, but you can still beat them. It's just a lot harder. I'd say a player that is using a smaller play space well versus a player that uses the max play space poorly is going to win out most of the time. Anyway, step 1 to beating an aggressive player is to get host. I got host this game, so it gave me a much better time when trying to catch his blows, and also doing the sneaky body shots that I did pull off. You don't have to get host, but it's a great benefit if you do get host. Some players aren't affected as much by host, and some are. It just depends on each player's internet, where they're at, compared to where the server that they're playing on is at, and how far away the players are from each other. So yeah, that's step 1. Get host if you can. Step 2. Step 2 would be choosing a class. If you can play multiple classes, choosing a class that is longer than the aggressive player's class. You'll see in the match I chose Legendary Samurai because it outranges the Persian. It can move just as fast, and it can out-awaken them. Now, if you don't play multiple classes, then your best bet, if you have a shorter sword than them, or a similar length sword, you want to play much more defensively than I play here, which would be using the front of your play space as a buffer, running backwards as fast as you can when they do approach, with the body shots mixed in like I do show in this video. Most likely the reason Smokey chose the Persian is because it's fast, it has 2 swords, which is great for the feints for body shots, and the 2 swords makes it to where he can trade one of his swords at the hilt for my sword, and leaving both our swords short, but he still has a full blade to body shot me while they're both short. Also, the curve of the Persian sword gets around blocks a lot. It's great for body shots. So we start off here, feeling around, being careful, testing the waters, go for a couple trades. The first trade didn't go so well, so I ward up here because I'm scared. I try to deal some damage here with the edge breaker because dead Persian is a safe Persian. In this matchup, all I need to do is get decent cut and keep my awaken max without getting body shot, and I should be good. I've been sticking to the middle of my play space because he hasn't been playing as aggressive as normal. I back up because I outrange him, and I'm preparing for a lunge here, but then I drop, so I have to pull out the secondaries. I got really lucky there. I thought he'd for sure hit my sword there. That would have been detrimental. Now I'm exhuming alpha male energy right now, so in a second he's gonna turtle, go into his turtle stance because of out of sheer terror, my intimidation. It gives me the round.
No, I fell. I had a little sleep.
There it is. There it is.
On concrete.
Now throughout this match,
Yep.
I've been staying in the middle of my play space because the length of my sword gives me the option to go either aggressive to counter his aggressive or block like I did there.
I thought that hit you. I thought that hit you.
On shorter classes, you might just want to go to the front to block. Now, when someone wards up like this that plays aggressive, most of the time they're going to go for a body shot. He doesn't here, which is strange, but it's a good rule of thumb is if they're going to ward up, they feel safe, they're going to go for something tricky and body shot you. The reason he's not body shotting me here is because I do have a ward. He's trying to wait it out.
I'm gonna cry.
Once my ward's gone, he's going to go for a body shot, so that's when you got to be careful.
Hit my entire life. And then watch this night tech. Well, no, not night tech.
So I'm just focusing on trading here, so he can't have a longer sword than me.
Yep. Solid. Once he uses that other knife, he has to rely on only that.
I try to do some chip damage with the sidearm so he can't get a good body shot on me with it outranging. He's gonna run up here. I'm gonna run backwards, but it's just not fast enough. I should have been closer to the front of my play space so I could have more space to run backwards. So that was a mistake on my part for not having proper distance control. He wards up here. I feel he's gonna do a body shot, so I check it by doing a straight shot, outranging him with my sword, and it breaks his ward. I try to catch his edge breaker before it does any damage by max awakening and then lunging at it to minimize damage. I tried to get a cheeky body shot there, but he caught it. Now this whole time I've been using mostly the back of my play space because I do outrange him to just check his body shots by charging back and outranging him. He goes for another, but since I was backed up I could also charge and just outrange him. If I didn't outrange him, I would have to go up to the front and then run backwards and catch his blades.
I know, but
he wards up. I'm gonna try to check the ward again.
I'm so lost. What? Nah, I'm so lost. I'm so lost.
I catch the edge breaker with that sidearm.
I'm so lost.
Now I have a pretty big lead here.
Hitting you, and then it's like
I just gotta play defensively.
I'm like stopping and then hitting.
Win trades. Oh, I dropped. I didn't see it in time, and I went for it. Got punished.
Yeah, the smallest sword can have the most awakening.
Here I should be inching up forward so I can run backwards. But I see, and he got a pretty good trade there for my sidearm. Again, I am just super far away from him, waiting for him to come to me, but I should be up front.
I know.
More.
I'm used to legacy, not main. I need to watch out for
He's just trying to get my sword shorter so he can body shot me right here. He's probably gonna go for it just because of the lengths. Yeah, he's fainting. I just back up and point my sword at his hilt.
Excuse me, I actually did that.
That was just a good shot, honestly. That was a good shot there. What he did.
No,
it was so tricky. I don't normally see people going that side with Persian.
I'm curious. Is that move cheesy or no? I'm curious. I'm really curious.
He's warding up. Trying to see if he's gonna body shot or not. He doesn't. So I just go for a trade, and he didn't awaken. This time I want to. I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I want a straight shot here. Get the ward trade with my outrange. I'll trade the edge breakers because I deal more damage, and I'm already in the lead. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to trade that. I would want to use the sidearms. But it's safer to use the edge breaker
Dropped
trade.
awakening. I hit your blade. And then
he's gonna get desperate because I'm about to win here. He's gonna go for body shots, so I'm gonna go for a straight lunge.
Excuse me, sir. I actually hit
just because Persian has to curve to get a good body shot most of the time. And legendary samurai outranges the Persian, so that's why these straight shots work so well against this matchup. Just because I did outrange and I did have host.
So I